Wembley Stadium is draped in blue and red as the stage is set in London for the FA Cup final. This time last year, Antonio Conte arrived to this same stadium as the newly crowned champion and looking to complete a domestic double in his first season at Chelsea. But it wasn't to be for the Italian manager, but today the Blues get a shot at redemption and earning a piece of silverware to salvage a desperately disappointing Premier League campaign. Standing in their way, though, is a Manchester United outfit who, despite defeating every single team at least once on their way to second place in the league, have been heavily criticised for lacking the flair that is naturally associated with the famous Red Devils. And should they fail tonight, the world's richest football club will end the season empty-handed. So it's a do-or-die clash between Chelsea and Manchester United in this, the 137th edition of the oldest cup competition in the world. Welcome back to our live coverage of the FA Cup final between Chelsea and Manchester United. This, of course, being the oldest cup competition in the world. This very match is the 137th edition. And it will be, of course, these two sides have met 3 times already, winning a piece each. So this will be interesting to see what the outcome of this is and who will retain the bragging rights in that respect. But it is now time to cross to the wonderful Wembley Stadium where, after the anthem, the FA Cup anthem, Abide With Me, we'll be crossing to our commentators of Martin Tyler and Stuart Robson. Enjoy.
With the loss of a great friend of all of us in English football, Ray Wilkins, whose first 2 clubs were Chelsea and Manchester United, and who won the FA Cup as a United player 35 years ago. This is a repeat of the final of 1994, won by United, and of 2007, when Chelsea were the victors, managed by Jose Mourinho, who's in the opposite dugout. It's Antonio Conte Chelsea today. And Stuart, we've got 2 big clubs, but they both need this trophy to make this season really a meaningful one for them.
You're absolutely right. Manchester United, if they win this, I think it's a good season for them. They've come second in the league. They've had some good occasions. They've played well on certain occasions. They haven't really been playing at their best under Mourinho. This is a chance to make it a good season for them. As for Chelsea, not qualifying for the Champions League, I'm not sure it'll ever be considered a good season.
Extra warmth from the pyrotechnics here. It's a lovely day in northwest London, but very much focused on the fixture for the 2 sides, the 2 managers. We are very much in the cult of the managers these days. Some very fine players in these 2 sides, but the big flags that are on the pitch at the moment both have big features about the 2 bosses, and you can understand why. They're high profile, Just a form guide for you. Both sides won their home matches in the 2 Premier League meetings. The more recent one was at Old Trafford, which finished 2-1 to United. The presentation party of FA Chairman Greg Clark, John Nixon, the Chairman of the Challenge Cup Committee, and Sir Tim Clark, who is the President of the competition sponsors, Emirates. Of course, we have no royalty today. There's been another event somewhere else at Windsor, which keeps the President away, the Duke of Cambridge. Will it be Antonio Conte's last game? He teased us yesterday in the press conference saying it will be my last game of this season, after a pause that had us all leaning forward and really concentrating on what he was about to say. But there's a lot of speculation about his future. The second season hasn't been as spectacular as the first. For Manchester United, the FA Cup winners here just 2 years ago, of course, League Cup winners in 2017. They've had some problems with Chelsea, who have lost only 2 of the last 15 against Manchester United in all competitions.
The scene is set one more time, so 10-12 KBE.
The national anthem will be sung by the British soprano Emily Haig.
Of course, we thank you to the RAF involved today, celebrating 116 years of service to our country.
Both clubs, of course, have been here for the semi-final. United came from behind to beat Tottenham, who's really using this as their home ground this season. That was a very good win for Mourinho's men. And Chelsea saw off Southampton in their semi.
So one more time, let's hear our chief guests. So KBE, Greg Clark, and John Nixon.
Nervous moments, anxious moments. Still the protocol to be observed, and rightly so. And the thoughts of Sir Alex Ferguson, who is recovering from a brain hemorrhage. Everyone in football wishes him well. Even the opposition today will wish him well. He's been a great contributor, of course, to Manchester United's FA Cup history. It is now time for the national anthem. Past part of the ceremonies here, which of course keep the crowd entertained right up to the kickoff. Just a quick moment before the kickoff to give you the team news. Chelsea give Thibaut Courtois his first FA Cup game since last season's final. Gary Cahill, who's in England's World Cup squad, has regained his defensive berth. A third critical midfield player in Siamue Bakayoko. They do well with three in the centre of midfield, and Olivier Giroud, a three-time FA Cup winner with Arsenal, is preferred to Alvaro Morata.
Well, Bakayoko has been included in Conte's team to make sure they aren't outnumbered in that central midfield area, but he will need to break forward to support Giroud and Hazard as the front two. If Chelsea can dominate midfield, then Moses and Alonso will become an attacking influence.
Big story for Manchester United. Their attack will be led by Marcus Rashford. Top scorer Romelu Lukaku has only made the bench despite extensive treatment on his recent ankle injury. They too have an FA Cup specialist in Alexis Sanchez, who has scored in both his previous finals with Arsenal.
Well, Rashford is an explosive player. He wants to threaten the back of the Chelsea's back three, but he will also need to link up the play so the likes of Sanchez, Lingard and Pogba have the chance to show their attacking qualities.
That's a great chance for Marcus Rashford, who too is in the England World Cup 23. And he has played quite a lot this season, Stuart, but not always as a starter and not always through the middle.
I think he's just got to show a little bit more game understanding. Just talking about it there, when to run in behind, when to come short to link up the play, when to drift into wide areas. He's certainly going to be a counter-attacking threat when Manchester United do get possession.
300th Chelsea appearance for Eden Hazard. Some suggestion that it might be his last as well. A little bit of disenchantment with the transfer policy, as the manager has had as well. But we'll see. It's all about the here and now. In the 2018 FA Cup final. Chelsea losers here a year ago. Manchester United, when Chris Smalling was sent off, winners here 2 years ago. And Michael Oliver, recognised now, I think, as the best referee in the English game. He's still only 33. He's got many years ahead and many big finals ahead. It's a special day for him. The shadows starting to lengthen. More of the pitch now in the shade, which the players will appreciate. It's been a very warm day, as is often the case on FA Cup final day. Two sides that know a lot about each other. I was hearing in the build-up that Courtois wasn't actually the goalkeeper of choice at the start of the week, but that he's edged out Willy Caballero, who's played in all the other FA Cup rounds.
Just looking at the way Manchester United are set up at the moment, it almost looks as though they're going to play with a back three, but part of that back three is going to be Herrera, who's going to man-mark Eden Hazard by the looks of it.
Which he has done before. And here's Bakayoko coming to the end of his first season as a Chelsea player. It hasn't all been sweetness and light, but that goes for the club as well as the midfield man from Monaco.
A big role for Herrera. Just watched in the last minute or so. He's going to play in the back three. He's going to man-mark Hazard when Hazard's playing up front, but when he drifts wide, he's going to pass him on to Valencia. There the two meet there.
Here's Bakayoko. Hazard drops deep, which won't worry Manchester United too much. Alonso, and he was fouled by Ander Herrera. He does have previous with Eden Hazard, and in this fixture.
Valencia diving in, Herrera chasing back.
Chelsea were very poor in their last Premier League game. They lost 3-0 away to Newcastle. Can't just flick a switch, maybe, to get back onto the A game. Fabregas takes it, clears away into the safe hands, gloved hands of David De Gea, is disappointed with his kick. Turned away straight away.
He's been very good this season. Alonso at left back, or left wing back. One of the best players for Antonio Conte this season.
Been less demonstrative on the bench. than he was in the title-winning season. It's been strange, really, for Chelsea Football Club. They won the league under Mourinho, then finished 10th, and they won the league under Mourinho's replacement, Antonio Conte, and now finished 5th. Here is Ander Herrera, and the former Chelsea player, Nemanja Matic. Ashley Young is also going to the World Cup with England. Pogba with France. All the big European leagues and the big European nations coming to the end of the domestic campaign with major finals. And Jose Mourinho has an excellent record in major finals.
And a slight change. It looks like Sanchez is playing up front with Rashford in his first few minutes. Rather than going out to his normal wide left position, he's going to drift out there now.
And trying to get it forward. Here is Alexis Sanchez, who was celebrating at Chelsea's expense last season, as was Olivier Giroud, who's jumping here. The two ex-Arsenal men who moved clubs in the middle of the season. Probably fair to say Giroud's done slightly better than Sanchez.
I think you're absolutely right. If you get the right sort of balls into the box, Giroud will always beat centre-backs. He's got good movement. There's confirmation of that formation that Manchester United are playing, and how close Herrera will be to Hazard. He's not actually man-marking him. He's just gone into that back three. He's going to keep a careful eye on him. He's going to get tight to him when the ball travels towards him.
That's the job. Well, he's come out of that back three again to get close to Hazard, who's been man-marked before, not just by Herrera, but also in other games against Manchester United. And to be honest with you, Stuart, he hasn't shown a great willingness to move him across the pitch and go out and stand on the right-hand side, for example, to see what United come up with then. And maybe he's under orders to keep his particular slot, which is on our near side compared to Olivier Giroud.
That's where he wants to play. He loves to play as the second centre-forward. He likes to link up with a main man. He doesn't like playing out wide so much. It's been his complaint over the years at Chelsea at times. It's got his wish today. No Willian in the side.
Jones. It's a cautious opening. I don't think we expected anything very different to that. It's good to hear yesterday from Antonio Conte that any animosity between him and Jose Mourinho has been patched up. Handshakes today, but there's still a match to be played. Back to Courtois from Cahill. He's only recently regained a regular place in the Chelsea side. Valencia, none of the older hands on view.
Watch out for when Azpilicueta gets the ball out on that right-hand side and tries to bend the ball into the box. That's when Chelsea come alive from crosses. Also when Moses has it out there.
Here's Rudiger. They were very disappointing, Chelsea, having won the league. They had the league and FA Cup double in their sights, but Arsenal deserved to beat them on the day. Although Antonio Conte is still aggrieved about the goal from Alexis Sanchez. He'll be looking to trouble his Chelsea again here. Pogba hesitating. And then fouling the vigilant Fabregas, who's just got married, managed to fit that in. Build up to an FA Cup final. Congratulations to him and his bride.
Don't see that too often, that Fabregas
getting married. No, I see. Yeah. Not the only wedding of the week, the royal one. Cahill. Lost out Andreas Christensen, who's not involved today for a good portion of the season. Here's Marcos Alonso on the front foot from left back, as he has been the best part of 2 seasons now for Antonio Conte. Reclaimed by Matic. In goes N'Golo Conte. Now Hazard. Now Fabregas. Manchester United can counter-attack here. Azpilicueta trying to intervene. Michael Oliver thinking about playing the advantage. It didn't quite fall Manchester United's way. And
well, they're trying to claim a booking here. They're trying to get Conte booked. Michael Oliver quite rightly saying, I didn't book Herrera down on the other side. I'm going to let it go for a little while here. What a player he is. Even though Chelsea haven't played particularly well this season, he's still been outstanding. Both with and without the ball. People don't give him enough credit for what he can do with the ball.
he's only scored 3 Chelsea goals, though, but 2 of them have come against Manchester United. Smalling ventures forward. We're hoping for a better angle towards him here from Young's cross. Now Herrera. Jones has stayed back. Gives it away, and Chelsea now can break. Hazard, free of his original marker. And he takes on Jones and nearly squeezed it in. A tight angle, and it was a ball that you'd expect De Gea to keep out. De Gea again, Alonso. Ooh, and that was a show. They've got the offside, but it must have been close. We have got VAR today.
And it was Jones that gave the ball away sloppily. And suddenly Hazard was running at him. I don't think Giroud makes a good run here. He's almost running into the space that Hazard wanted to use, but he just holds Jones up, then goes past him. And it's that right knee come right shin that just makes the save for De Gea. Reacts really well.
The goalkeeper who's won the Golden Glove for the most clean sheets in the Premier League this season, 18. Azpilicueta seeing out the ball and seeing off Sanchez.
He's quite often had the better of that battle when those two have come up against each other in previous seasons. Sanchez was at Arsenal.
Giroud trying to flick it on. Hazard. Bundled over by the power of Pogba. He's just moving his position across the pitch a bit, Eden Hazard, into Pogba's territory this time.
Did well just to get his leg across the challenge of Paul Pogba to win the free kick.
Which Fabregas takes. Matic heads out. Hazard so short. Bakayoko. A lot of very experienced players in this match, but we're still showing the FA Cup final tensions with the ball being given away uncharacteristically cheaply. Azpilicueta. Moses. Touch from Giroud, but Giroud was offside.
That's the one they like to play, Chelsea. Whip round the corner by Moses into a front player who links up the play. He's just about offside when the ball's played. Good decision by the assistant on that far side. He can wag his finger as much as he likes. Olivier Giroud is offside.
Assistant is Lee Betts. Valencia. Matic squeezed it through to Marcus Rashford. Sanchez in the middle, Lingard going in as well. It's out to Valencia. Rashford. Runs it into Marcus Alonso. It's a throw to Manchester United.
Doesn't look like a player playing with full confidence at the moment, Marcus Rashford.
Valencia able to turn. Lingard. Matic has a hammer of a left foot but chooses not to use it. In by Young. The only problem might have been for Courtois with the sun in his eyes, but goalkeepers tend not to wear the old cap these days.
Seen that so many times over the years. Ashley Young coming in on his right foot and just bending balls into the box. So he's got a lot to aim for today. Rashford isn't the best header of the ball. Sanchez, although he scored in that semi-final against Spurs with his head, he's not known for his heading ability.
Young's had a very good season, 30 Premier League appearances, more than in the 2 previous seasons combined. A bit of space here for Fabregas, and the challenge. Michael Oliver says no. Down went Bakayoko. A run alongside him was made by Nemanja Matic, and Chelsea thinking penalty. Michael Oliver thinking not.
It's a really good ball played by Fabregas. It's rolled down the side of Matic. Matic was certainly grabbing hold of his shirt and wraps his arm around him as well. I think Bakayoko actually trips himself up, but the arm around him could have easily been given as a foul there.
The FA Cup and indeed the Carabao Cup has been a vehicle for the VAR trials that are still going on in English football. Of course, we'll see it in the World Cup finals. It's a fait accompli in that. Here's Ander Herrera. Matic, nearly. Just trying to drop it on the head of Sanchez, who'd run in behind. Pogba. Lingard. That's from left to right. And now it's Valencia. Matic. Chelsea trying to hold a highish line. Valencia still gets a deep ball in. Sanchez, then he throws himself to the ground. I think that's more what it was. Any contact, he beats the ground as if he should have had a penalty. So a couple of calls for referee Oliver, one at each end.
He didn't take the ball with him either, Alexis Sanchez. Just created a 2v1 at the far post there. Manchester United against Chelsea's right wing back Moses.
Sanchez can't quite keep it in. 8 goals and 8 appearances at Wembley for club and for country.
There's the supposed foul. There's the arm across the shoulders of Sanchez. That could easily have been given as a free kick or a penalty as well. That's not a foul. Doesn't take the ball with him. And here's the other one at the other end. It's clumsy from Matic. It's a lovely ball played down the side. Again, it's not clear who brings who down there. Does he bring himself down? Clipped his own heels. Bakayoko.
The two of them are at it again. Bakayoko and Matic. Young. Just sense that the feeling each other out phase has passed now. Both teams getting to grips with the opposition and the occasion, of course. Pass doesn't really prove the point. That's it by Pogba. Giroud glanced it on, and it was on. Hazard looked skywards, knowing that a stronger knockdown, and he might have been away then. Rudiger. Cahill. He's given it away as well, and the accuracy of the passing not up to the standards expected of these two groups of players, but it's understandable in these circumstances. As you can see, the possession not quite 50-50, but near enough. Neither side has really shown that they can get a grip on proceedings as yet.
Certainly haven't seen Manchester United an attacking force yet. Sanchez hasn't really got involved in the game. Rashford has given the ball away cheaply and lost it in possession. Lingard has had an excellent season. Hasn't been able to make those forward runs that he's so good at doing.
Yes, the loss of Lukaku, or the lack of Lukaku at the moment. He is, as I mentioned at the start, amongst the substitutes. Damaged ankle in the recent Premier League game against Arsenal. And done everything possible to try and get him ready. So he presumably is an option for the shorter term, but many people are predicting extra time, such as the balance between these two rivals. So it won't be on to you soon, I don't think. Unless, of course, Manchester United find themselves in serious difficulty. Giroud. Took two to stop him. Good advantage played by the referee. And Sanchez tangling with Rudiger. Chelsea get the throw.
Hasn't really happened for him in a Manchester United shirt so far, Alexis Sanchez. So many times played for Arsenal. He was absolutely brilliant. Often the best player on the field.
Actually made his Arsenal debut, his English football debut here at Wembley in a Community Shield. He was a central striker that day. Got taken off at half-time by Arsene Wenger and was very, very complaining about it. He's one of those who wants to play every minute of every game, which I think is a compliment. Ended up by Fabregas, who did win the FA Cup back in 2005 with Arsenal against Manchester United. And the final was played in the Millennium Stadium in Cardiff. That was a tight one as well. It went to penalties. Giroud. One or two occasions where Chelsea have looked as though they've got just an extra man in the middle of midfield, with Hazard dropping a bit deeper. And again, down to the occasion rather than the lack of ability. Chelsea's talismanic Belgian. Jones having to turn. When the clubs met in 2007, it was at the end of a really demanding title chase. And they were pretty weary when they came to the final. It hasn't been the same in the build-up this year for Chelsea and Manchester United. Plenty of recovery time. Manchester United got a good handle on second place for most of the season, but they finished 19 points behind Manchester City. Doesn't sit well with them. Now, can he get away here? Eden Hazard! And Michael Oliver gives Chelsea an FA Cup final penalty. Phil Jones trying to match the chase. And they're asking for a red card.
Well, he gets in a terrible position, Phil Jones, when that ball's played across. Not quite sure what he's looking for. Hazard takes his touch inside and then takes it back across him. Antonio Conte wants him sent off, so do all the Chelsea players.
Of course, Chelsea had a player sent off in the cup final last season. Goal-scoring opportunity.
There's certainly a goal-scoring opportunity. I think the rule now says if you're inside the box and a penalty's given...
No, if you're attempting genuinely to play the ball, it's a yellow card.
Which I think he's generally trying to play the ball. So yes. I think the referee's got that absolutely right.
So Phil Jones has now to deal only with the consequences of the penalty he's conceded, rather than the actions of the referee. Hazard is a well-practiced penalty taker, but not one with a 100% record. A short approach, almost halfway through the first half. And Hazard rolls it past De Gea, and Chelsea lead Manchester United at Wembley in the 2018 FA Cup final.
Well, he was very composed. It's a good penalty. He waits for De Gea to go down. Well, you'd like to think he waits for De Gea to go down, but there's the man that made the mistake. Phil Jones, not with the last tackle, but his positional play at the start of it. Easily rolled down one side of the goal. Not much of a run-up. De Gea makes his mind up. He just passes it into the other side. Chelsea, I think, have been the better team in the early stages of the game.
It's his 17th goal of the season in all competitions. Remember, it's his 300th Chelsea appearance. And he wins the penalty and scores the penalty.
He also knew the challenge was coming in. He waited and he waited. Jones, desperate to make that last-ditch challenge. He just put his foot across him. And I think the referee gets that absolutely right, because Jones was trying to go for the ball. The yellow card was the right decision, as was the penalty.
Pogba. Well, Manchester United in a position that they were in the semi-final here, and they were a goal down to a London rival, Tottenham, of course. And they were able to hit back then. There's Young and Rudiger. Alonso should be able to get some distance into this, but it was well anticipated by Ander Herrera.
Old Trafford not so long ago, Chelsea were 1-0 up. Outplaying Manchester United, it all changed in the second half. There again we saw Rashford just miscontrol. An easy pass to him. He's got to get his game together quickly.
Matic. Almost 20 years since the last club lost back-to-back FA Cup finals. It was Newcastle United 98 to Arsenal, 99 to Manchester United. They had two different managers then. Kenny Dalglish first, then Ruud Gullit.
He's exasperated with Rashford so far. He suggested that after the game at Brighton. You can now see why I pick Lukaku all the time.
Yes, it's been a hard season to judge in terms of performances. Manchester United have actually beaten every club in the Premier League this season, including Manchester City, of course, when they came from 2-0 down at City's home, the Etihad. But they've lost at all three of the promoted clubs. Brighton, you mentioned, being the most recent. Prior to that, Newcastle, and first of all, Huddersfield. They've also been very good when they've gone 1-0 up in the Premier League. They've won every time they've gone 1-0 up, but here they're 1-0 down.
Until Lukaku comes on, they haven't really got a plan B. Get the ball out wide and get crosses into the box. Not going to get too much out of that, Manchester United. Play their way through Chelsea, you'd think.
Pogba. With Young. And out of it, they do get a free kick in a pretty decent position.
They have got a chance to get small in, and Jones up. Good play from Pogba. Step over. Against Moses, both just blocking his route through.
Not beyond the wit of Sanchez to try and put this across Courtois into the top corner, although Courtois, of course, is one of the goalkeepers with the biggest reach in world football. It's a variety on a theme, a complete miskick by Herrera, the strangest of return passes, and it ends up going off the head of Pogba. Not off the head of Pogba. It's given as a corner.
I think this is a big chance for Pogba. I said they won't get too much joy out of crosses into the box. That wasn't the case here. Really good ball from Sanchez. Pogba probably heads it onto Rudiger.
Yeah. Another good call by the officials.
I think that's a chance though for Pogba. And his quality in the air.
Taken by Sanchez. It wasn't one of those little flick-on headers, really. It can sometimes set up somebody else from Rashford. He got quite a lot on it. Passed well away for a goal kick.
Watch Jones' position here. Hazard just runs across him. Jones wasn't aware of him. Now he does brilliant to go back across Jones. Does he need to make the challenge? I don't think he does. He's got to rely on the goalkeeper here. There's only one thing he can do, is give away a free kick. He's attempting to play for the ball. But Hazard knows it's coming and just sticks his body in the way. Good play from Hazard.
That is the change, recent change a year or so ago in the legislation about the double whammy. Of course, if you get the penalty. It's not denying a goal-scoring opportunity. You score the penalty, you've still got the goal-scoring opportunity, but it only applies if it's a genuine attempt to play the ball in that kind of instance. If he grabbed him round the neck, it would have been a red card. Sort of to encourage tackling as we know it, although it was a clear foul. Here's Ander Herrera. Matic. Lingard's had a great record of scoring goals here, and there have been special goals too, including one to win the FA Cup against Crystal Palace 2 years ago. He scored last season in the League Cup final here. Ander Herrera. Rashford taking on Rudiger, beating Rudiger. Comes back at the young English forward, the German defender. Also aggrieved. Could have been given as a free kick against him. It was just a throw. Rashford digging out the cross. Now Young. Pogba wanting to let fly, and certainly had Courtois dropping to his right just in case.
Had that little bit of time and space there when the ball's first played to him. Should have done better. Just comes off the inside of his foot rather than his laces. Always going past that near post.
And it's still early days as Chelsea look for an 8th FA Cup triumph, which will put them joint 3rd on the all-time roster, joint with Spurs. As Manchester United will equal the top team, and FA Cup winners Arsenal, if they win here, if they turn it round here to win. There's still an hour, and of course the possibility of extra time to play. They've already, getting to the final, equalled the Arsenal mark of 20 appearances in the FA Cup final. Sanchez. Valencia waiting on the right-hand side. Sanchez looks the opposite direction. Pogba. Matic. By Moses. United's throw. To Moses, that red card in the cup final a year ago. And they came back in the Community Shield at Wembley and scored, but they still lost again, Chelsea. And the penalties. Again. Just hooked away by Victor Moses this time. It's an important phase for Chelsea. They've settled in, having taken the lead. Manchester United coming at them with a bit of extra vigour now. Valencia. And Herrera.
I've seen Chelsea do quite a lot this season when they've been a goal up, or even 2 goals up, and then just sit that little bit deeper. They allow the opposition to have the ball. They have to invite pressure to be put on them. They lose their rhythm going forward.
They're certainly doing that at the moment, inviting the pressure. Here's Alexis Sanchez looking to apply the pressure.
I'm not quite sure what he's asking of Valencia there. Darting run behind Alonso. He's the man with the problems at the moment. Jose Mourinho. One area I think he'd be quite keen to exploit. Paul Pogba's playing up against Cesc Fabregas in that central midfield area. Paul Pogba can certainly run off the back of Fabregas, play little 1-2s round him. Fabregas isn't a good defender.
possession from his team. I think if anything, obviously, to win the game, but to justify the way he's changed the shape and put a player like Ander Herrera in as a third central defender.
And all he's done is just match up with Chelsea's shape, really.
Herrera can get out here. He did play 9 days ago at West Ham, Thursday before last, with a back three, but that had Victor Lindelof as the player in Ander Herrera's position, who is, of course, more of a natural defensive player. No one taking anything for granted at Wembley at this stage. Eden Hazard from the penalty spot has put Chelsea in front. Valencia. Flag well up against Alexis Sanchez. Free kick taken from the wrong place. Well, how long has he got in him? That's the question, isn't it? Only Jose Mourinho knows. Well, Lukaku may have a fair idea himself.
Fit is he? To run at full pace, even if it's for 15-20 minutes. Will he be able to hold off defenders? That's what he's all about. If he's not fully fit, he's not going to be a threat.
Here's Alonso. Here's Lukaku's rival today, but fellow countryman, Hazard. Fabregas. They squeeze it through towards Marcos Alonso. Now Bakayoko, who was tripped. Fabregas will be interested in this. And maybe Hazard as well.
Fabregas trying to play the first ball through. Bakayoko just holds off the challenge of Sanchez, who clips him. He's waiting for it, and there it comes. On the wrong side for Alonso. Some very good free kicks this season. As you said, Fabregas looks the favourite for this.
Since Fabregas was only a substitute in the final a year ago. Turn it round for Chelsea. Now here's an opportunity maybe to put them 2-0 in front, but Alonso would be the surprise package. Fabregas into the wall. Not a token effort, really, by his standards. N'Golo Kanté sensing the danger. Courtois' big kick to make Manchester United turn. Furthest forward was Bakayoko. He's got a bit of a physical presence about him. So too is Victor Moses here. Contact. 10 minutes left in the first half. Good so far for the boys in blue.
There's an opportunity. Bakayoko. The ball was in behind Smalling for the run of Giroud.
Seized by Valencia. And a pacey piece of covering by Rudiger, which was very necessary for Chelsea.
He's big, but he's also got pace, Rudiger. Another player that's improved drastically over the course of the season.
Matic to Young. Touch from Rashford. Chelsea really thinking up with a back five in these circumstances. Moses and Alonso supporting the middle three. We're trying to find a little corridor of prosperity, really, inside of Moses. And he's got to play groundsman for a moment. Play without the corner flags. Eight minutes left in the first half. Sanchez with a corner. Get another chance to. A late swerve fooled Fabregas, who's doing the zone by the front post. It's gone a little further out. She's maybe just trying to skim Fabregas's head, and needed stopping by Courtois. It was a pretty simple stop in the end, but it was veering towards the Chelsea net. And back come United again, with Sanchez again, but he's given it away. And Chelsea spring forward here. Alonso. Hazard. Finds a way out with Azpilicueta. Moves into that area, Stuart, you were talking about, where he fizzes the ball in for a big striker. Often Morata, but it's Giroud today. United not happy with Michael Oliver. It's a free kick to Chelsea.
Hasn't been able to get involved in the game, Lingard. Hazard just taking it between the two. Actually a fairly decent challenge from Pogba. I'm not sure there was too much wrong. The challenge is here. He's already going down. He knows he's going to win a free kick.
And one of them got the ball, one of them didn't. I think that's the way the referee saw it. Quick free kick. Giroud, Alonso's in there. United have to concede the corner.
He does that quite well, Alonso. Coming from his left wing-back position. Comes late, really attacks the ball.
He scored 8 goals this season. The most recent one against Huddersfield, the ball just smacked him in the face and flew in. Unfortunate that day.
Smalling is not a good marker at set plays. He often marks on the wrong side. He's up against the best header in Giroud.
And towards Alonso. Oh, and De Gea had a good swipe at it and made good contact. So a real reach from the United goalkeeper. He did his job. Cleared the area and beyond. Of course, have won here this season in the league. They beat Tottenham 2-1, 2 goals from Alonso. Back in August. It's gone out.
I think Bakayoko was going to give up on that. He's just been called over. Just to calm some of these players down, I think. I'll word with Ashley Young, who'd had a go at the assistant on that far side.
Well, it's often the way that English captain is called over to deal with a foreign player, but it's the opposite there.
Walking back, actually now has another go at the assistant on that far side. It's not been a good half for Manchester United and Jose Mourinho. He's changed the tactics to sort the way Chelsea play, to match them in shape. Not created too much so far, haven't had any dominance in terms of possession.
Moses. Hazard was very deep that time. The one who could run in behind has run in behind and got the penalty for his efforts. Young. Azpilicueta. Found a little bit of overdrive there to lead the race with Sanchez, but it's Manchester United's throw. Matic. It's a weaving run. Chelsea can't clear it straight away. Back with Herrera. Again, when they're in that wide position, they are now the Lukaku option, which has been such an important part of their season. It's even more defined, really, by its absence. 27 goals he's got in all competitions. The signing from Everton. And of course, one-time Chelsea player. It's in by Valencia, deflection on it. And the referee's given a push.
I really don't fancy Lingard in the air up against Cahill. They are going to cross the ball, they're going to whip balls in, little cutbacks, they're going to be inventive when they're in wide areas, and the movement's got to be better as well.
Anxious, those in red.
They've had more possession, Manchester United. They haven't done a lot with it. All of that possession's been across the field rather than penetrative. It shows that Chelsea have just dropped off again after the goal.
Rashford. Matic, who is exhibiting with his body language the greatest urgency not to lose to the club that he left in the summer. Good footwork by Ashley Young.
It's been a good 1v1 battle on a couple of occasions between these two. Ashley Young, formerly a winger, little step over. Moses steps across him.
Moses, formerly a winger.
Yeah, the referee makes the right decision. Free kick. Chance for Manchester United to whip this in.
It makes such a difference to Jose Mourinho's half-time team talk. Manchester United running out of time to get level before half-time. The kick becomes a corner. Good striker of a dead ball, Marcus Rashford. Short corner was on, but he decided against it. Back in by Young. Oh, and arriving at the back post was the man who gave away the penalty, Phil Jones. It would have been a tight angle if he'd got a square contact on it.
It's a late run from him, trying to come round the back. Gets away from Bakayoko here. It's a good delivery into the box, and he jumps early. Again, I think this is a chance. He's got to head that back across the goalkeeper. Doesn't make the right contact. Desperate to amend for his terrible bit of defending for the goal.
Giroud. In the air by Jones. And Giroud again. His communication with Fabregas. Chelsea hunting it down in numbers, and that extra man in midfield at times showing again. One added minute. Chelsea to protect their one-goal lead. Never won a cup competition as a manager. A specialist in winning league titles.
I didn't say, and too bad, is it, as a manager? He claims he's a specialist in most things, Jose Mourinho.
Mop of the brow. It's not just because it's warm. Plenty to think about. Conte. Last attack of the first half, and it's Chelsea's. Rudiger Hazard lets it run, wants it back from Giroud. Maybe one pass too many. Might have been there on his good foot for Giroud just to spin and hit. Away comes Pogba. It's not the last attack of the half, because Manchester United have got one brewing here with Paul Pogba still going. Rashford. Well, that was as good as it got, you felt, as it dropped Marcus Rashford's way. A little bit of a reprieve for Chelsea right on half-time. And Rashford gets up a little wearily, certainly more wondering, but Eden Hazard was spot on, having earned the penalty with a quick break that embarrassed Phil Jones. And Hazard getting the congratulations for showing no nerves with the penalty kick. Chelsea have had periods where they've looked the better side, periods where they've just dropped off the pace as well. Manchester United very much still in it and could have equalised right on half-time, but they trail to the Blues from Stamford Bridge, 1-0 at the break.
Between Chelsea and Manchester United, in which the Blues are a goal to the good. Pozinho, can you see United getting back into
They
this?
can do. I mean, last time against Chelsea, they were 1-0 down. They came back 2-1. Mind you, Lukaku was in form. Pogba did well in the second half. He's going to be needed here. Lukaku, you see there, the fact that he's on the bench, obviously he's been injured for 3 weeks. The fact that he's on the bench means that he must be able to play something, so I expect to see him certainly by 60 minutes anyway. He absolutely has to get on the field. So he'll make changes. He can change a game, Mourinho. clearly he has to here.
OK, let's head back to Wembley Stadium to find out now what's going to happen between these two sides. Will it be resolved in regulation time? Your commentary team of Martin Tyler and Stuart Robson are standing by for the call once again.
The most recent was Arsenal, who lost to Liverpool in the final 2001, and then a year later won the FA Cup. They actually beat Chelsea in that final. And it's the Chelsea of today, with plenty of work still to do to get their hands on the trophy after the dismay of a year ago. Smalling wins the header. Pogba did likewise, and then Giroud. Information of the teams for you.
Well, the surprise of the Manchester United team was that Herrera playing as the right side of a back three rather than in midfield.
Valencia came back off the Manchester United player, and it is a goal kick. Alonso did pretty well. They had a bit of luck as well.
It's a good battle on that far side. Valencia loves to get forward and get crosses into the box. He's got a lot to aim for, it has to be said. Against Alonso, who's defended fairly well so far. Hasn't changed anything at half-time by the looks of it, Jose Mourinho.
When he first came into English football, his first spell as manager of Chelsea, if things weren't going well, he changed it after half an hour. He's been a little bit more circumspect as he's got older. Jones not having the happiest of FA Cup finals so far. He's getting back into position. I think it's a serious injury. There's Pogba, who hammers it across to Valencia. It's a wonderful pass in terms of execution. Now Rashford.
There you saw the problem. Ball goes out to Valencia. It's closed down. Rashford makes the run out wide. If Rashford wanted to cross the ball there was nobody in the box whatsoever.
He's had a bit of an injury-blighted career, Phil Jones. By is the number one backup on the bench in that position. Rudiger plays safe. United attacking the end where their fans are at Wembley. Those fans groan because Lingard is penalised.
He's been criticised a lot this season, Bakayoko. A lot of money. Went to Manchester United, he was the replacement, hasn't played particularly well. Fans have been getting on his back.
Antonio Conte not over happy with Chelsea's recruitment. He's not really been able to keep those feelings to himself. United trying to break after Hazard was dispossessed. The onus is on Mourinho's men now. A difficult match so far for Thibaut Courtois. He plays as first choice in the Premier League, but hasn't been first choice in the FA Cup. Caballero in all the previous rounds, and Courtois pulled up today.
It was good defending from Herrera. He knew the ball was going to be played round the corner into Hazard. Gets there first. And lost clip by Bakayoko.
Here's Young. Now Pogba. Lingard coming to get it. Herrera. And Valencia back to Ander Herrera again. Nice little triangle for Manchester United. Chelsea are equal to it. Hazard. Caught. Oliver might not have had a clear view of it. He's stopped it now. Hazard's holding his face. Of course, the onus is on the referee if it is a head injury.
It was brilliant control to start with from Eden Hazard when the ball was played full to him from Alonso. Where does he get? Well, he's hardly touched. He's certainly not where he's holding. There's a stray arm there. Hits him on the chin rather than the nose. No intent from Chris Smalling.
And you would think no lasting damage to Eden Hazard. So the onus is on Chelsea to give it back to Manchester United, but when those things happen, of course, it's never quite in the same momentum. United start again. And stoppage for slightly doubtful injury is not going to be the reason you lose an FA Cup final.
The player that's got to come to the fore now for Chelsea is Giroud, because Chelsea is sitting deeper and deeper. They're trying to hit balls into the front play. He's got to get hold of them.
Pogba's ball. Rashford had turned his back on it. He'd made his run much earlier. And Lukaku is limbering up. Is he going to be the rescue package here for Jose Mourinho? Hazard trying to take it, not quite in the way that he wanted to roll and get in behind, but he kept the Blues on the ball. It's not quite on the boil yet. Fabregas loses out. Room for Lingard. Players like Lingard and Pogba to maybe seize the moment a bit more than they've done so far. Young goes down, fouled. Referee very close.
Once again, Ashley Young's having a go at the referee here. He always wants to come back onto that right foot. Conte knew it. He was ready to make the next interception. He didn't have to make the foul there. Victor Moses, little step over, changes direction. It's the trailing leg. He actually pulls it out the way. Ashley Young's thrown himself to the ground.
Of course, Moses got 2 yellow cards in the final last year.
Rashford's aiming for Courtois here, hoping some of the Manchester United players will race across his vision.
We're 7 minutes into the second half. In by Rashford. It's exactly as you said, Stuart. Courtois was able to keep his eyes on the ball and get it away.
That was the perfect delivery from Marcus Rashford. Good decision by Courtois just to punch this away.
Some of the famous Chelsea pensioners in the crowd. And not Manchester United fans, because they're wearing red. Who've broken security. Chelsea, of course, used to be known as the pensioners.
Just sense that they're sitting a little bit too deep now, Chelsea, and inviting pressure to come onto them.
Pogba, Sanchez. Now Young. Sanchez again. Pogba lets it run, and it's right to do so. He drew Bakayoko in and still made sure United kept the ball. Bakayoko going in again, but it breaks for Herrera. And Matic, who did get an FA Cup winners' medal with Chelsea as a non-playing substitute 8 years ago. Chelsea had a lot of success at the new Wembley in the FA Cup. Matic, Lingard, Sanchez, Young, Lingard. N'Golo Conte did enough, it might break for Young. Bakayoko looking for a way out with a pass rather than just a hoik. And that might have been the wrong decision because he's given the ball away. And Young... Chelsea trying to play out. And they weren't really in a position to do so. Encouragement for the United supporters.
Yeah, Bakayoko's looking to pass it to Fabregas, actually turned his back on it. Starting to make more challenges, starting to win the ball back much earlier, Manchester United. That's where the front two, Hazard and Giroud, when they do get the ball played up to them, they have to combine. They have to allow other players to get higher up the field.
Towards Giroud, does get a touch, but not in an area where Hazard could join in. For sure, saw then still one or two people a bit unsure about the offside regulation. Can't be offside from a goal kick with Giroud pushing right up beyond Jones. Very few goalkeepers can kick it that far from a goal kick. Here's Smalling. And there is fast, and it's a decent one for Valencia. And the cutback only goes to Cesc Fabregas, but he loses out. And Courtois has to make the save from Rashford. Pogba, that's a lax moment from Chelsea, and Marcus Rashford nearly punished them.
It's coming, you sense, for Jose Mourinho. What a pass this is. Inside of Alonso. Valencia's looking for the cutback. He gets it wrong. Then Fabregas takes too long. Alexis Sanchez, he so often does, getting back and nicking the ball. That's a good effort from Marcus Rashford. You see it dip on the goalkeeper, Courtois. Just dip on him here.
Now the strength and the power of Bakayoko. And a bit of skill as well. Fabregas, no foul. Game opening up now, and the crowd responding to it. Azpilicueta drawn across, out of shape really. Pogba strides on. Manchester United upping the ante here, and the ball loops behind for a corner.
And Antonio Conte must be having a look at Cesc Fabregas. Cesc Fabregas' legs have gone at the moment. Keeps giving the ball away, he can't track back. He's a passenger in that midfield for Chelsea.
Fabregas deals with the corner. Hazard trying to wriggle free. A bit of wriggle room for him. Alonso hasn't got forward too often, but he's gone galloping down that far side, and then that's a pretty cynical challenge by Antonio Valencia, for which he gets the yellow card. And Mourinho's saying, well, hang on a minute, do that for both teams.
That's Hazard at his best. They're under pressure. 1v1 against Herrera, twists and turns, just buys his team that little bit of time. He's looking for the cross-field pass, nothing was really on. Goes again, just invites the challenge. Valencia falls for it as well.
Azpilicueta, Fabregas, Hazard coming in beyond Giroud. Not in time, and not really the ball that he had any chance of getting. But for the neutral, it's the best part of the match, Stuart.
Certainly opening up now. Manchester United are playing with greater intensity. They're trying to win the ball back that little bit quicker. They're trying to play forward a bit quicker. Still don't fancy their chances when balls go wide and they get crosses into the box. It's from a set play and they get their centre-halves up.
I wouldn't see that too often. Sanchez and Pogba having a little private argument while the game's going on. It's certainly going on for Manchester United on the far side until it's given to N'Golo Conte, and then the United fans get the roars out again.
Antonio Conte's going mad on the side. He's been spoken to by the fourth official.
Kick given away by Bakayoko. Lee Mason is the fourth official. Sanchez, played by Rudiger. It's the kind of chance that Matic would love to have on his left foot.
I was going to say, you mentioned earlier on he's got a hammer. It's with his left foot, not with his right.
No.
Nobody in the box when the cross comes in from Sanchez, but Matic gets to it first.
It's a hammer, but it's made of plasticine.
This one wasn't a good effort. Almost as bad as Herrera's in the first half. He knows his team are now on top. Not in terms of the scoreline, but in terms of the game, where the game's being played.
Jones a little bit of sorting out to try and do. Smalling is quick and he's tidy.
Not quite good enough on the ball, according to Gareth Southgate.
Oh, yeah, he's been left out of the squad. Probably the place that he was going for, Gary Cahill got. Sanchez. And then Moses to Courtois. Rudiger wants it, Rudiger gets it. He's trying to press from the front. And Rudiger slips it into space, and Hazard has kept it in. Chances for Chelsea here. Still Hazard. A difficult ball to try and get to the far post, where Marcus Alonso had run a massive diagonal run. He's miles out of position at the moment. You see him trying to get back. And trying to regain some semblance of shape here, Chelsea. As Ashley Young presses on for United. And even if Lukaku had been in the middle, he wouldn't have reached that.
Yeah, he did everything right, didn't he? Threatens to cross with his right foot, drags it back onto his left. Just overhit it. That was the out ball. It was really good play from Rudiger to find Hazard down that left-hand side. But interesting by the movement of Giroud when that ball was out wide. He ran into an offside position. There was no way he was going to get onto the end of the cross. That's why Hazard had to go try and get it to the far post. United are dominating in terms of shots, but 10 shots, but most of them off target. Just the one on target so far in the game.
From Marcus Rashford not that long ago, in this period where United are threatening an equaliser, more than at any other point really since Chelsea took the lead. Rashford takes, and it's turned aside and then followed up, but it's not going to count for Alexis Sanchez. He's offside. Courtois got to it, made the save. Sanchez, with this great record of scoring at Wembley, thought he'd put another notch on that particular belt.
What a save, but they're waiting. They're just going to review this probably to see whether Alexis Sanchez was offside, but what a save it was by Courtois. What goes on in the box here? Jones it is. He is just offside. It's a good decision. See it better from this angle, just there. Great decision by the assistant on that far side.
Mike Oliver has two issues: to wait for confirmation and also for Courtois to get some treatment.
Yes, right decision. He's had a little word with the VAR, or the VAR's had a word with him. Confirmation, it is offside.
And what it does show, VAR or no VAR, these officials are very good.
I mean, we're talking...
That's a really, really tight call. And Lee Betts has got it absolutely spot on.
And his flag went up as soon as the ball went into the net. Ashley Young's had a go at him a couple of times on that far side, but he's done his job perfectly. He could accept the decision.
Yeah, well, that is another factor, of course. He had a bit of a chip at one in the earlier rounds, didn't he? I think it was away at Huddersfield in round 5. Juan Mata had a goal ruled out. A very tight call on an offside by VAR. They won the game anyway.
Giroud's not winning enough balls in the air against Smalling and Jones now. He's got to start winning balls, otherwise Chelsea are going to be pinned back. Chelsea aren't trying to play out from that. They're going route one from Courtois into Giroud.
They have felt as all their better performances over the course of the season. been when they've played with Bakayoko as the extra midfield player. And this perhaps isn't one of their best performances, but they're heading towards their best result. It's still a long way to go at Wembley.
Antonio Conte will still be looking to replace Cesc Fabregas at some times. He's really struggled in this second half.
Jones. United out to the players in the Chelsea half. Pogba, Lingard, Rashford, Pogba, Lingard, Sanchez. Find space maybe to have a shot, and in the end he finds space for the pass to Herrera. Valencia. And Matic. Jones coming forward, but it goes in advance of him to Sanchez. And Lingard. Valencia. He's got away once in the second half, but can't get away that time. It certainly helps in this formation to have a wing-back who was a very good right winger, Antonio Valencia, when he came into English football, first of all with Wigan.
He was the player that was thought to replace Ronaldo. Quite a tough to follow.
He's certainly given the length of service. Lukaku waiting and wondering, and Manchester United collectively in that way. Well, Conte snapping in and coming away with the ball. But, unable to execute a pass at the end of it. Sanchez. And some good defensive work from Fabregas. Not a very good kick from Courtois. Claimed by Pogba. Matic. Now Young. Taking on Moses, past Moses, across from Azpilicueta. Mike Oliver says goal kick. And Azpilicueta, Young has a bit of history of going to ground too easily. I would tell you that he's learned from his mistakes in the past. Stuart Robson.
Well, there's the first challenge. Well, it's the way he kicked his leg out. Azpilicueta comes across, there is contact, but it's the way he jumps and screams and jumps up in the air and then goes to ground. I think the referee once again gets it right.
And Giroud again unable to hold it up as Jones wrapped a foot round him. Pogba.
And as a result, Manchester United got possession and they're going to counter or attack again. And Antonio Conte's side, the most important player on the field is the centre forward, whether he can hold the play up or not.
United look as though they've got an extra gear to find. Whereas Chelsea, without hanging on, looking the less comfortable of the two teams, that's for sure. They've got a corner to defend here. Defend it they do, with Giroud. Low from Rashford. Lingard let it run. And he came off. Now Chelsea can break with Hazard. He's found by Fabregas, who still keeps going. Good work by Smalling for United. Herrera. There will be more gaps as the players get tired. Pogba's pass cut out by Azpilicueta. Giroud making a run for a ball in behind rather than pulling out for a cross they might head goalwards. And now they can maybe get a ball into Giroud's aerial ability. It's over Giroud. Bakayoko had come roaring up, but he's certainly not feeling the pace.
And once again, Giroud's movement in the box was a little bit too early on that occasion. Alonso hadn't even got on the board. He's trying to work the defenders and run across the near post area. Here he comes.
I guess when they said, how long have you got in you? 20 minutes was the answer, but of course it goes to extra time. And more than double that. take extra time at the moment, Manchester United, with Chelsea looking for a second. And Alonso can't get it. That could be a really pivotal moment in the game, but Moses still going. They're asking for handball here, and this might have a VAR involvement.
Brilliant from Kante. Races with the ball, rolls it to Alonso. Could Alonso hit it with his left foot? He's favoured. I don't know what he's doing in that position. That's the one I thought he might have hit it with his left foot. With his right, it's a bit of a swinger straight at De Gea. And this is the moment. Well, it certainly hits Ashley Young on the arm. Does he mean it? Can he do anything about it? Oh, I think he sticks his arm out. Big call here.
Chelsea waiting to see if they're going to get a second penalty.
No, they're not.
No.
It's deemed that Ashley Young could do nothing about that.
It was a Manchester United-Chelsea final, 1994, when Eric Cantona scored 2 penalties in a 4-0 Manchester United win. And goes Rudiger and Cahill.
Here it is. It's come from a very short. Does he move his arm out just to block the ball? I'm not sure.
He's pretty close, isn't he?
He's too close. I think
it has to be
the
clear and obvious. It has to be, and I would say, in terms of an error, the referee. And
some referees would, or some video assistant referees would give it. Some wouldn't.
Well, that's just another opinion, isn't it? It's just another opinion. I'm not sure Michael Oliver saw it. I think that was the key. Neil Swarbrick is the VAR man. And here's Jesse Lingard, and Courtois comes out and saves. And he wasn't going to get there. It was a block from Rashford, who was trying to lift it over him.
It's a nice little ball played in behind. Lingard hasn't been in these positions too often. He's onside. He gets in behind Rudiger. And again, it's not a particularly confident finish. Almost toe poking it. That was on just to lift it back across Courtois.
Well, here comes the cavalry, so to speak. Rashford is off, Lingard is off, and Lukaku and Martial are on.
And Martial looks like he's going to come to the left-hand side. Alexis Sanchez will play in behind Lukaku.
Well, we're about to find out what sort of gamble it is with Romelu Lukaku. He's turned 25 since he last played. That was last Sunday.
I don't think it's a gamble from Jose Mourinho. It might be a gamble from Lukaku with the World Cup coming up. Fit exactly is he?
Sanchez of the attacking trio started the game as the one who survives. Here's Valencia forcing his way in. Lukaku for Valencia, for Martial, and didn't quite catch it as he wanted to.
Good play from Valencia again. He lifts it into Lukaku, returns the pass. Good block in the end from Azpilicueta, as he does so often.
Martial in the semi-final in 2016. I think Lukaku was on the other side then. Scored a very late winner against Everton to get United into that 2016 final when they beat Crystal Palace, another FA Cup game in which they've come from behind to win. Young. Martial, who's not in France's World Cup squad in the ranks recently. Jones. Valencia drives on again. Pogba. He's also trying to strangle it away, but Sanchez is having none of that. Digs the cross out towards Lukaku. Certainly got a focal point for balls into the box now. Hooked away with a certain amount of desperation by Marcos Alonso. What else was on, he's saying?
A little while ago, you mentioned that they weren't quite hanging on. I think they are at the moment.
Fired across by Sanchez. Weary Fabregas steer away. And then goes Cahill. Giroud backing in. As Fabregas tries to strike it forward. Clash of heads. Phil Jones in the wars again.
Isn't it wrong with Phil Jones' attempt to head the ball? Giroud wasn't watching it for a short while there, backing into Jones.
Not the worst time for the players. Deep into the game, have a little bit of a break. Get a bit of liquid inside them. Well, Manchester United still look as though they might have a goal in them, but the time is against them. It's noticeable when the big clubs come to Wembley. The fans have been here a few times before, haven't they? There's maybe a little less of the wide-eyed enthusiasm when maybe a surprise FA Cup finalist gets in. Steve McNally, the Manchester United doctor.
They do have Eric Bailly on the bench.
Game goes on. Return to Chelsea by Young, observing the ethics of the game. Jones desperate to get pulled back on. Here's Cahill feeling perhaps it's time to take the fight to Manchester United. The best way to win this game for Chelsea is to get another goal. Hazard, deflected. Played by Valencia. Lukaku seems to be moving well enough. Pogba. Out to the speedy Martial. Backpedaling from Azpilicueta. The support for United from Young. Back to Martial. There are three far posts for Manchester United. The ball doesn't get there. A nice ball out by Fabregas to the indefatigable N'Golo Kanté. Nice change of pace by Hazard as well. Hasn't seen so much of the ball in the second half. Chelsea been the less for that. Fabregas trying to get there. Just ran beyond him. And Sanchez breaks out for United. Kanté is there again.
He is simply magnificent, isn't he?
He's built to run, that's for sure. The batteries that he has last longer than everybody else's. And he flips a pass to Bakayoko, who's done pretty well. He's kept the shape in there for Chelsea.
Just given an idea to one or two battery companies from advertisements.
He would be perfect. Well, his batteries aren't flat yet either.
He's just asked about Cesc Fabregas. I think Antonio Conte screamed across my, "You okay? Can you carry on?" I think Fabregas ignored him.
Hazard. Back to Fabregas, a little bit of keep ball, particularly in this part of the pitch, will help Chelsea, especially if it leads to a pass to open up United, which would be a difficult thing for them to do, but that one burst from Eden Hazard brought down by Phil Jones just for the halfway mark in the first half. Hazard dispatched the penalty, and that's where we still are in the scoreline. One thing you know about Premier League teams, they play the 90 minutes and more. See so many late goals. Wouldn't shock you if there's another one here. Pogba. Young. Pogba. Courtois. Eyes on the ball, punched it away. Hazard, eyes on the ball, can't flip it away. Comes back to Valencia.
That last cross was a good one.
Matic is going to have a go, and Chelsea know all about that. Courtois knows all about that, and he dealt with it, but not easily. A little knowing look between the two.
I think this must swerve in the air. Gets his body behind it, and then suddenly it just dips away from him.
It's an amazing goal, Matic, in the semi-final here last season. Tottenham. Sanchez takes. Chelsea hesitate. Martial. And Courtois trying to prevent a corner, and he's done that.
Could he got his shot away, and it just falls to him here. Could he have swung a boot at it? Maybe he could have done. Just trying to go inside of Moses. Guess who's there? Aspilicueta with the block.
Headed on well by Alonso. Look at the space that Hazard's got here. Giroud making a move. Hazard making his own move. Held up by Smalling. Right for Alonso. Fabregas. Chelsea finding a second wind here. Will it lead to a second goal? And surely the FA Cup. Offside.
Why Giroud wants to have a moan. He was clearly offside when the ball was played. He's standing in an offside position here. He tries to get himself back on and runs offside again.
Martial's got Aspilicueta isolated here. Chelsea trying to provide some cover. They got there just in time in the shape of Cahill.
He backed off pretty quickly there, Aspilicueta. It's always dangerous to run back into your own box. Cahill did well to come across on the cover.
Now they've got Lukaku to deal with. Oh. Well, is that the moment that, as Pogba gets consoled a bit and encouraged by Jose Mourinho, is that the moment that Manchester United lose any chance of winning the FA Cup?
There's absolutely no marking of Paul Pogba. Just makes his run, he's free. Got to do better. Just lets it slide off his forehead.
Doesn't he know it? Chelsea fans trying to get their team across the line. Let's wonder what Antonio Conte's thinking. We know Jose Mourinho will be trying to plot something. He's got Lukaku and Martial on. And there are signs that that could yet pay the dividend he wants. But Antonio Conte has never won a cup final as a manager. And you do feel if Manchester United were to equalise later on, the momentum, of course, would be with them for whatever time would be left, and of course for extra time. Matic. That still ifs and buts. 7 minutes plus stoppage time to go, and Chelsea still lead. And the Eden Hazard penalty. Lukaku trying to backheel it to Martial.
And that's where, if you could be critical of Lukaku, there's a slight flaw. The ball played into him. Just tries to flick it back between his legs for the rushing midfield play. He's going to do better on that occasion. I think there he can get hold of it and try and roll his defender.
Giroud trying to roll his defender then, and he's just given away a free kick, which really doesn't help his side. It would have been a throw to Chelsea if he hadn't followed into Smalling.
Can be a very frustrating player, Giroud. So talented when the ball's in the air. He can link up the play, but spend a lot of time waving his arms around at other players, waving his arms around at the referee, rather than just getting on with the game.
Herrera. N'Golo Conte again read the danger signals. Dealt with the problem. Or Hazard furious with himself. Or maybe furious with the pass. Possibly the latter, I think. He was in a good position. Martial. Matic. Sanchez. Shots on. He thinks there's a little nick on it.
And he's playing in the role that Lingard was playing in earlier on, just in the hole behind the main striker. He's frustrated. Finds a lot of space. Bakayoko's never going to get across there to get the block in. He cuts across it.
Well, they were behind in the semi-final and they turned it round, but at this stage they had turned it round and saw it out against Spurs relatively comfortably last month. 5 minutes added time. Valencia. A poor ball from Bakayoko. Hazard rather lets his shoulders droop again. Pogba. Lukaku. Moses. No nonsense defending. Better one by Smalling. It goes to Fabregas. To Giroud. It's a ball on for Hazard. Giroud wants it back far post. Hazard thinking about shooting. Heel for Fabregas. Chelsea might have to go back to go forward again. Fabregas is hoping, I think he's going to get his ankles tapped then, but it's a throw. And Chelsea are now going to be confronted by a former Chelsea player in Juan Mata for Phil Jones. Mata, who equalised against Crystal Palace 2 years ago.
He's going to play just in central midfield, probably given licence to go and roam and get on the ball, make things happen. He's a clever footballer.
Martial. Matic. To Young. Lukaku in the middle. Sanchez just beyond him. Sanchez coming in, Courtois coming out. His own man Rudiger was the biggest problem for the goalkeeper.
I think he actually did well, Rudiger. It's right on his head. He's got to go and deal with it.
Matic. Now Young. Sanchez. Trying to tee up Martial, who comes up with something rather tame in the end.
It's a lovely little ball played in by Ashley Young into the chest of Alexis Sanchez. I'm not sure the pass was quite good enough from Alexis Sanchez to Martial, and he had to really should have taken another touch to try and go past his man. It's been a good defensive display in those areas from Chelsea, none better than Rudiger on the left-hand side of that back three.
Well, for so many years when Manchester United were in this position under Sir Alex Ferguson, Fergie time, we would talk about the late goals that his Manchester United teams used to come up with. Now they need it in Mourinho time, and Alvaro Morata surely going to replace Olivier Giroud. That is confirmed.
He had his moments. And he didn't win enough balls in the air. No. Disappointing with Giroud's movement when the ball went into wide areas and Hazard was running with it.
Morata scored in the semi-final here. He links up straight away with Hazard. He's still going, and that's the corner, which Chelsea will not be in a hurry to take.
Good play from Morata to link up the play with Hazard. Hazard getting to the byline. He was looking for the cutback. Actually, good movement from Morata in the box as well. Chelsea going to leave 4 back here against Manchester United 2.
And it's time for the short corner. Run down the clock. It's Another way to run down the clock, of course, is to make late substitutions. And it's Willian, probably a little bit unlucky not to be in the starting 11. So the man cast still as the match winner goes off as we tick on to the 90-minute mark.
It's an OK decision if Chelsea win in normal time. It won't be a good decision
No.
if Manchester United get an equaliser here and it goes into extra time and you're looking for your playmaker to go and make things happen.
That's another corner. And if you're looking for a penalty shootout, but we're nowhere near that at the moment. Chelsea in pole position. Ball a long way away from the goal that Manchester United need to put it in. Bakayoko. Neatly done. Willian trying to tee up Fabregas. Bakayoko again. Willian trying to stay onside. United can break here. Applies the right method for the moment.
And it took a touch.
Yeah, it's a Chelsea throw. Mike Oliver pumping for 5 added minutes. They always announce a minimum of 5 added minutes. And Chelsea have got the ball where they want it. Do their utmost to just keep United pinned back here. Morata goes down.
When you're throwing though, Manchester United still got to get themselves out of this position.
Lukaku. 11 years ago, it finished Chelsea 1, Manchester United 0, and Jose Mourinho was the winning manager. Morata misjudging it. Pogba. Now Mata. Manchester United showing they're not finished yet, but they've got to dig really deep. They've got to go to the well one more time and come up with a bucket that's full. Pogba. Valencia has provided a threat. And it was a threat with the cross. But Nemanja Matic, as we've said a couple of times, the player perhaps with the greatest incentive. It's going to be a loser for 2 years in a row, it seems. He heads over.
This is where Chelsea have a problem. Moses and Azpilicueta at the far post aren't the best. There was 3 Manchester United players in there. Got to hit the target, Matic. Big chance. The cross was the perfect one. Azpilicueta was under it. Moses couldn't get round on the cover.
It's just kicked it out of play.
He's trying to aim for Alonso. He's won a couple of really good balls over there. He's overcooked that one.
There's a booking for Thibaut Courtois for wasting time. Forward by Young. Rudiger going for it. Drops to Mata. Now Valencia. Now or never for Manchester United. Lifted up by Mata. Moses backpedaling. And concedes the corner.
Just enough there, Moses. Wasn't great in the air, but here's the chance. Needs a good delivery. Pogba had a free header at the last corner.
Courtois comes, and that's one of the biggest cheers of the day. Belgium scored what seemed to be the winning goal. Belgium grasps the ball in these closing seconds here.
Well, he hasn't been animated very much over the last few weeks of the season, Antonio Conte. But he'll certainly take this if he gets the victory.
Valencia. Sense of desperation here for Manchester United. Willian Fabregas is kept going for the 90 minutes. Now Morata, the two substitutes for Willian, and that'll surely do it for Chelsea.
Well, you fancied Willian to get there before Mata. He said it's all over. Keep players back, don't go up for the set play. He knows it's time as well.
Jose Mourinho second in the Premier League, and it seems second in the FA Cup. Chelsea on the brink. Chelsea win. If Antonio Conte is leaving, what a way to do it. Winning the FA Cup 12 months on from losing the previous final. Sporting from Mourinho, the serial winner, but not today. The salvaging of a season that in many ways did not live up to the expectation for Chelsea, who started it as defending champions. Eden Hazard's nerveless penalty, having won it, being fouled by Phil Jones, was the only goal of the game. A game that was expected to be tight, although it opened up a bit more in the second half. Stuart Robson.
Well, Chelsea played well at the start of the game. I think they deserved their lead. They looked the more threatening because when Manchester United were going forward, they didn't have a threat. Rashford didn't play well enough. There was enough bodies in the box when crosses were coming in. But as the game wore on, I think Antonio Conte let Manchester United back into it. But they just didn't have that guile or craft, or maybe the belief that they were going to get back into the game. Chelsea didn't deserve to win it, but they just about did enough, and they defended well when balls came into their box.
And Manchester United will face again the criticism that for all their individuals, the philosophy of the team, that they finished the season hardly scoring a goal, and when they needed one here, they couldn't come up with one.
No, they had a couple of passes, a great pass where Valencia gets in, side of Alonso, but it didn't have enough. There wasn't enough creativity in and around the box, the clever football that you see from the top sides, like Manchester City, like you see from Chelsea when they're playing at their best, like you see from the likes of Arsenal, Tottenham. You don't always see it from Manchester United under Jose Mourinho, and they had to wait for Lukaku to come on to pose a real threat.
Well, Chelsea celebrate at Wembley, and the presentation to come. Final score, Chelsea 1, Manchester United 0.
So it may have been a disastrous season in the Premier League for Chelsea after being crowned champions in the 2016-17 campaign. The Blues finished 5th this time around, failing to qualify for the Champions League, and could very well be without the man that led them to that success last year, if you believe the very strong rumours circulating. But right now, none of that matters in this moment, because Chelsea have redeemed themselves somewhat by adding a piece of silverware to the trophy cabinet over their bitter rivals, Manchester United, nonetheless. And Foz, deserved winners in many respects?
Oh, I think so. And talk about bitter rivals. Gee, the two coaches there. Of course, Mourinho, don't forget, won 8 trophies with them. But he's fallen out with the fans since, in part because when he went back to Chelsea several times now, he's you know, made very clear that he's moved on and his affections are with United. So for Conte, after winning the title last season, this year has been extremely difficult for him, and there's been a lot of antagonism with Abramovich and everything else, and in the end, nice for him to finish with a trophy. Is he now going to leave the job? I think most of us think it's more likely than not, only because Abramovich is fond of success, A, and B, getting rid of coaches if they don't deliver it very quickly. He's not someone to build over the long term. He's got very little patience, and whilst we've discussed it many times before, it has delivered him a very large trophy haul in that period of time since he's been there. I think about 13 years or so now. So for Conte, nice. I'll tell you what he did do, and it shows you top quality players, obviously, when they come in a big game, they're against United. It's very different from the last game against Newcastle, but geez, they were horrible in that. That's their last game. What a difference. And they come into this and played like the Chelsea that we know. They weren't fantastic, but they were very well organised. Once they got 1-0, they knew that they could hold on. They knew that United were going to struggle to break them down because they struggled to break everyone down this season. Hazard was outstanding. I thought Fabregas was good. He was the only one who was making some good forward passes. Aside from that, Mourinho, it was typical Mourinho for me, and that is that not really try to win the game until such time as we're losing. then we'll try, but we'll wait till the last 15 minutes to really try. You know, he's not a coach to sort of really try right from the start, and there are many successful ones of those around the world, and that's why his football is so often difficult to watch. It only works, it's only defensible if he wins, because then he can say, yes, OK, no one was entertained, or according to his definition, they may have been, but it's not about that, it's about winning. This club needs trophies, that's fine, but when you don't get them, then you're left with what? Not much. Not much football, a bit of huff and puff, very few shots on target, one chance to Pogba in the air, and that's pretty much it.
Can I ask a bit of a controversial question, Rudes? How is it that the world-class players that Mourinho has at his disposal have been made to look so ordinary? Because in this match, did you, or even over the course of the season, did you really see the likes of Pogba, who was paid £89 million, right, for his move to the club? Yep, they paid £89 million for him. Did you really see him step up and deliver? Did you see the likes of Sanchez, who came across in the January transfer window, deliver? And he was renowned for playing some beautiful football under Arsene Wenger and scoring a ton of goals. But did you see the likes of these players actually stand up and really perform and shine under Mourinho?
No, but those two in particular, you could argue that it's Mourinho's style and the way he likes the game to be played that went against those two. So if you look at you know, their careers at different clubs, obviously Sanchez at Arsenal was given this free rein to receive the ball and you know,
into midfield. You're saying, well, you're 1-0 down, you've got 8 minutes to go, and you're dropping into midfield to try and just you know, receive the ball and give it to someone else in midfield. Quite amazing, really, but that's the trouble with having to flip the switch. It doesn't always work, particularly if you're not a ball possession team who's used to doing that all the time. The other thing about Mourinho, just quickly, well, we'll get to the winners here shortly. I'm sure Chelsea fans want to speak about them, but the other thing about him is to me, he diminishes players. He brings them down.
That's why I asked that question. He's made world-class players. This is a good squad for us.
Yeah, he reduces them. Like, you know, Pogba, he had to bring him into line with what Mourinho thinks. Juventus, it was unbelievable. I remember him playing out on the left with Tevez there, and they were operating together brilliantly.
Deschamps also played him in a deeper lying midfield role for France, particularly at the Euros. We saw that, and a lot of people were asking the same questions. Why?
Yeah, and Mata here is not himself. Sanchez is not himself. You know, he criticises them publicly a lot as well, and whereas other coaches will build them up, and so they make something extra of the player. So I think it remains an issue for him. Anyway, Hazard was absolutely brilliant today. For Chelsea, you know, it's another trophy. We talk about the FA Cup, how important it is these days. It is important for Chelsea this season because you can say you've won a trophy, right? But it won't escape anyone's attention that, you know, Arsenal under Wenger have won this multiple times, and I think since 2014 they might have won it 3 times, right? So it's not the difference. It didn't help Arsene. It didn't help, you know, it didn't show that Arsenal were any closer to challenging for the premiership, but it is still, nevertheless, a trophy to finish the season with.
Some interesting articles also doing the rounds about the value of the FA Cup and whether or not it's diminished in importance. But I'll leave you with that thought for just a moment, because we're going to cross to a quick break now, where after that we'll come back and have plenty more to discuss on both Manchester United and Jose Mourinho and the future of Antonio Conte with the Blues. Does he stay? Does he go? But either way, what a fantastic result for them. They desperately needed this to redeem themselves this season. But for now, though, let's get to that break. Welcome back to our live coverage of the FA Cup final, in which Chelsea have been crowned champions. As we can see, the players and Antonio Conte there are making their way up to receive the trophy. So let's cross back to Wembley Stadium now for the trophy presentation.
Blue is the colour, is the Chelsea song, and they'll be singing that around southwest London this evening. The Manchester United fans have vacated their end. It's a special, very, very special moment, particularly when you've gone up there as a vanquished team only 12 months earlier, and so many of those Chelsea players have. Of course, Cesc Fabregas did get a winner's medal back in 2005, but not in this stadium. It was down in Cardiff
And it was such a shock last year, wasn't it, against Arsenal? Arsenal was struggling desperately and got into the top 4. Chelsea were champions, and champions by quite some way. You expected Chelsea to beat them easily. They just didn't come out and play.
Matters won the cup with both these clubs. But not today. This is the moment. Last season's losers are very much today's winners. The honour goes to Gary Cahill. Congratulations to Chelsea. Back in the winning mood again. A tight game, shaded by, well, a moment of brilliance by Eden Hazard to earn the penalty, and a moment of calmness by the man holding the cup now to convert the penalty. It has been the Garden of Eden, Wembley today. Moments that pass too fleetingly, really, but memories that last a lifetime. Here's a cup winner, Antonio Conte. It's one question he can't be bombarded with again.
Well, we felt they were hanging on towards the end, but you have to say they defended their penalty box really well. Manchester United had a lot of shots, but they didn't get enough in on target, and they didn't really trouble that man there, Thibaut Courtois.
Trevor Chalobah with the dreadlocks, one of the substitutes not used today, the younger of the brothers. His brother, of course, left Chelsea to go to Watford, Nathaniel. And he deserves that, Willy Caballero, the goalkeeper who got Chelsea to this final. Doesn't really look like goodbye, but how could it?
First time I've seen a smile on his face for a few weeks, Antonio Conte. He did a magnificent job last season, winning the title, taking over from Jose Mourinho. It hasn't been quite so good for him this time, but he will go on, whether it's at Chelsea or somewhere else, and still be a great manager.
He is. He's got that infectious work ethic. He wants to work every hour of every day, and he did do it. But they've worked harder this season than they did last season, when they rather, not strolled to the title, but they won it by a reasonable margin. And that it's been harder work, more things have gone against them. He wanted different players in. But however frustrating it's been, it's ended in a day with no frustration, with just celebration. And what a turnaround for Gary Cahill. Out of favour at his club, out of favour with his country. Got his hands on the FA Cup as the skipper. He's going to the World Cup.
Well, we did the game against Roma away when Chelsea defended really poorly, and he was at the centre of it. And from that moment on, he was never going to be first choice. But he's got back in the side. He looks more confident than he did earlier on in the season. And hopefully he'll take that into the World Cup. I'm sure he's going to start too many games. He's certainly a good squad player.
Oh, look at his watch there. Has he got a flight back to Italy, do you think? Well, the photos that will adorn the walls of the homes of all these players. All the backroom staff. There are a lot of Italian backroom staff as well. All enjoying the moment. A London triumph in London. Manchester United leave with plenty to reflect on today and over the last 9 months or so.
I think for Mourinho, for the players, also for the board, where are they trying to go, Manchester United? Second in the league, second in the FA Cup. Hasn't been a great season for them, but I'm sure they'll get better.
We saw the Premier League trophy being dropped by Manchester City at the big moment. Got to return it in one piece. Time to reflect, time to relish. Cesc Fabregas, an FA Cup winner, 13 years after his first success. That'll get a little footnote in the history books of the competition. And a winning penalty. Go back to Ruud van Nistelrooy, brought from the spot when Manchester United beat Millwall back in 2004. Referees perhaps a bit reluctant to award them on the big day. There's plenty of professionals around to do it, but they want them on their own devices, on their own phones, and that'll be sent to all his friends and family. And I know it's a personal thing to say. I do hope he stays. There's all the issues of whether he goes to Spain, and that won't have put any people off today, will it, what he's done today? But the talent he brings to the Premier League week in, week out is a joy to commentate on.
Absolutely. He's an outstanding player. You want players that can go past the ball.
What a fantastic moment as the celebrations ring out across Wembley Stadium for the Blues. We've already discussed how difficult a season it was for them.